Greetings Liverpool fan, in this video you'll stay updated on the latest Liverpool FC news. But first, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates about LFC news. Alright Liverpool fan, Marc Guéhi's future has been one of the biggest talking points this season, especially after Liverpool came so close to signing him on deadline day. It looked like the deal was hours away from getting done, but Crystal Palace chairman Steve Parish blocked the move, mainly because the Eagles were heading into their first ever European campaign. To be fair, it's paying off for Palace right now. Guéhi has been outstanding again and is easily one of the Premier League's top centre-backs this season. But with his contract running out in the summer of 2026 and no signs of him signing a new one, it feels like he's heading towards a free transfer at the end of the campaign. And those rumors have only grown stronger after teammate Adam Horton basically hinted that Guéhi won't be extending his stay at Selhurst Park. At 25, with loads of Premier League experience and now finally getting a taste of European football, Guéhi's going to want to take that next step, competing for titles and playing Champions League football regularly. He's proven himself with England too. And Horton pretty much said what everyone's thinking: Guéhi is too good not to move on. Speaking on the Athletic FC podcast, Horton admitted, "It's pretty obvious he's not signing a new deal. He could literally go to any club in the world and start." That says everything you need to know. From a Liverpool perspective, Guéhi is almost the perfect signing: homegrown, proven in the Premier League, consistent, calm and ready-made for a top side. There'd be no adjustment period. He'd walk straight into Arne Slot's starting and instantly make the defense stronger. If Liverpool push for him in January, they'd try to get him for a small fee since he can walk for free in the summer anyway. But waiting too long is risky. Bayern Munich and Real Madrid have already been sniffing around. If the Reds let him slip away when he's this gettable, it could go down as a massive mistake. So Reds, Alexander Isak's start to life at Liverpool has definitely not gone the way any of us expected. And fans are now trying to figure out what's actually gone wrong for him this season. Most of us thought he'd walk straight into the team, stick the ball in the net for fun, and completely transform our attack. After all, he was one of the Premier League's best strikers last year, and with players like Mo Salah and Florian Wirtz supplying him, it felt like a guaranteed success story. But instead, he's already being talked about as one of the most disappointing signings of the window. Yes, his injuries haven't helped at all. But even when he has played, he just hasn't hit the standards we all expected. There's still loads of time for him to turn it around. But right now, former Liverpool midfielder Don Hutchison isn't exactly defending him. In fact, he's putting the blame squarely on Isak's shoulders. The Swedish striker is close to returning from injury, and Graham Potter has even called him up for Sweden's November fixtures. So he should be back on the pitch very soon. But the pressure is on. If he doesn't start delivering over the next month or so, fans will rightly start asking how Liverpool ended up spending £125 million on him. Hutchison says Isak only has himself to blame for the way things have gone. Posting on X, he wrote that Isak should have done his preseason properly with Newcastle and stayed professional, instead of forcing the move the way he did. And honestly, he's got a point. Isak was flying last season, carrying Newcastle at times. But at Liverpool, he isn't the main man anymore. That role still falls on Salah, who's also had his own struggles this year. If Isak wanted the move that badly, a proper transfer request would have done the job. Instead, the way he handled things has left him unfit, under pressure, and at risk of costing Liverpool in both the Premier League and the Champions League. Now it's up to him to put things right. Listen up Liverpool fan. Liverpool are keeping a very close eye on RB Leipzig's breakout star Yen Diomande, and it's easy to see why. The 18-year-old forward has exploded onto the scene this season, bagging for goals and 2 assists in just 11 games, and he's already forced his way into Ole Werner's starting sheet. For someone who was playing high school football in the US only a year ago, it's a ridiculous rise. From what we understand, Liverpool have been seriously impressed by Diomande's talent and maturity, and the club plan to monitor him closely for the rest of the season. And they're far from alone. Plenty of big European sides have taken notice, but the Reds are firmly in the mix. Leipzig took a gamble when they spent around £18 million on him in the summer after he'd made just 10 senior appearances. But it looks like genius scouting now, especially with a €100 million release clause already in his contract. Transfer insider Graham Bailey says the hype is absolutely real and that Leipzig looks set to make a massive profit down the line. He describes Diomande as extraordinary, remarkable, and one of the brightest young prospects in Europe, someone Liverpool definitely want to keep tabs on. And despite Leipzig having big names like Johan Bakayoko and Antonio Nusa ahead of him, Diomande has still muscled his way into the team. He's used to beating the odds. From being rejected by Rangers in 2023, to joining Legends, to becoming one of Europe's hottest young attackers in the space of 12 months. Those who worked with him at Florida's DME Academy say the same thing. Unbelievable work ethic, team-first attitude, and dedication that sets him apart. Now he's tearing up the Bundesliga, scoring for his country, and attracting interest from Europe's giants, including Liverpool. And if he keeps progressing like this, the hype around him is only going to get louder. Hey Reds! Liverpool are gearing up for a busy January as they look for a new centre-back to cover for Giovanni Leone's injury. And honestly, it feels like the club don't have much choice. Leone picked up a nasty knee problem during his debut back in September, and that's left Arne Slot with just 3 senior centre-halves to work with. Far from ideal when you're fighting on all fronts, from what we've heard. The club fully intend to dip into the winter market if the right opportunity pops up. Now Marc Guéhi is clearly the dream signing, we all know that. But with Palace likely holding firm until the summer, Liverpool might have to shift their focus. And that's where Galatasaray's Wilfried Singo comes into the picture. Singo made a real impression when we played Gala in the Champions League. That night in Istanbul was rough for us, but Singo was everywhere, shutting down attacks and helping them to a clean sheet. Since then, Gala have stayed in top form, even smashing Ajax 3-0 away, and Singo's been a big part of it. Reports out of Turkey say his performances are catching serious attention, and Liverpool are planning to keep a close eye on him throughout the rest of their Champions League campaign. With a release clause of around £53 million, it's expected that clubs will start lining up in January. We were actually linked with Singo years ago when he was breaking through at Torino. Since then he's had spells at Monaco and now Gala, where he's really stepped up. He's tall, athletic, and can even fill in at right back, which, let's be honest, is something we could definitely use given the injuries we've had there. He's also an AFCON winner with Ivory Coast and has over 30 caps, so you know he's got experience. Sure, he might miss some time in January if he's selected again, but overall, Singo could be exactly the kind of signing that steadies Liverpool's defense at a crucial point in the season. This is the Liverpool FC News Fan Channel and I'll stop here. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. A big hug and see you in the next video.